Yo, that is crazy to me. I legit think about this topic a lot, like no cap. And I think I even mentioned it to y'all before on my other channel. Real quick, then we'll go ahead and start the video. But imagine how many times you probably walked past somebody and didn't even know it. And they just killed somebody, or they're about to go kill somebody. Like, they could legit be a whole serial killer and you don't even know it, bro. Like, think about it. You could legit just be in line at Walmart, don't even know, bro. Behind you, he probably like, damn, I should kill cuz. Like, you don't please don't kill me, Mr. Killer. But that'd be the happiest I ever paid anything for, bro. Like, I'm gonna go ahead pay for bro behind me. What, you got 5 TVs? Damn. But yo, I was gonna start the video. I legit think about that a lot. I'm about to check out top 3 random encounters with serial killers by the homie MrBallen. We'll check out the original video. Link will be in the description below. But let's go.
Experts believe in the United States alone, there are at least 2,000 active, uncaught serial killers just running wild. Which means if you live in America, you may have already had an interaction with a serial killer.
I'm telling you.
You just didn't know it. But today, I'm going to share 3 progressively more disturbing cases of Americans that had an interaction with a serial killer, but came to find out later that it was a serial killer. But before we get into those stories, if you're a fan of the strange, dark, and mysterious delivered in story format, then you've come to the right place, because that's all I do, and I upload 3, 4, even 5 times every week. So if that's of interest to you, then please schedule the like button for a fight with Paul on the day before Thanksgiving in Quincy, Massachusetts. Also, please subscribe to my channel and turn on all notifications so you don't miss any of my weekly uploads. All right, let's get into today's stories.
Let's go! I think this is about to be good. I bet the gate's in there. Shh, be quiet. There's no mess. Listen.
After spending 21 years in the U.S. Army, a man retires and moves to Central Florida with his wife and young son. Although his family had plenty of money because he had a pension coming in and his wife still worked full-time, he just got bored really quickly after moving to Central Florida and decided he would just take a job doing something just to stay occupied. And so he ended up taking a job at a highway gas station. One of the primary reasons he chose this particular job is because the owners of the gas station didn't care if his son came along to help him stock shelves and hang out behind the cash register. And so for years, that's just how it went. The man would work at the gas station and his son would tag along. Even after his son became a teenager and you'd think might be wanting to do other things, well, the town was so small, there was almost nothing to do. So his son still came along well into his teenage years. One night in 1990, his son, who was 15 years old at the time, was at the station and he was actually taking a break sitting outside on a picnic table. He was reading a magazine, drinking a Mountain Dew, and it's dark out, and he notices out of the corner of his eye that there is a woman walking off of the highway towards the gas station.
Ooh,
it was a very quiet night at the time, so there's no cars getting gas, there's nobody there, and there's not really anybody even driving on the highway, and so that's why she really stood out to him. And he turns and he notices her and he thinks to himself, you know, no one ever walks to our gas station. We're on a highway. Everybody drives here. So she must have broken down and she must be coming here to try to use our phone to call a tow truck or something like that. So the woman is walking across the lot, coming closer and closer to the gas station, and the boy at this point has turned his attention back to his magazine, but he would say later that he kept looking up and keeping an eye on her because there was something off about her. The woman ultimately walks right behind him and goes into the gas station.
My bad, that just kind of creeped me out because I picture, don't do that. Don't do that. And you know what's creepy about these? Real quick. Those gas stations off the highways, man, they look so freaking scary, dude. Like, I kid you not. And like, cause I drive a lot when I travel, cause I'm scared of flying. And sometimes you gotta go to them, right? Every time I pull up to them, I be scared. And the most part I be scared of, cause it just look like somebody gonna look at me like, what you doing around here, boy? Like, it looked like that. But luckily though, every time I go, it's always been like the dopest experience. So everybody always been like hella cool. But still, my mind takes me there. Even when I pull up to them, I'm like, oh man, they don't like my black ass over here. But luckily, all of it has been cool that I encountered. But
something off about her. The woman ultimately walks right behind him and goes in the door into the gas station. Doesn't acknowledge the boy, doesn't say hi to him, just walks straight inside, and she starts walking up and down the aisles of the gas station. Now, from where the boy was sitting, it's all glass, so he could clearly look in and see his father behind the counter, and he could see the head of this woman as she walked in and around all these aisles. And as soon as the woman was in the store, kind of pacing around the aisles, the boy put his magazine down and was just watching. and he noticed that she was not really shopping. She was just looking down for a few seconds, wouldn't pick anything up, so she wasn't buying anything.
Did she just escape
and she
from
would
someone?
look up at the counter where his father was, and she would just stare at him, and then she'd look back down at what she was doing, and she would go through all the aisles. And at some point, the woman just kind of abandons this phony, I'm pretending to shop routine, and just walks up to the counter. Now, nobody else is in the store. There's nobody else coming in. And so the boy could actually fairly clearly hear what she was saying to his father. And she told his father that she had broken down and she needed a ride, and could he drive her to Ocala,
Hell no.
which was the next big town north of this gas station. And the boy would say that his father acted very strangely, because his father is normally incredibly pleasant with all the customers. He's very chatty even. Like, he talks to everybody who comes in the store. But as soon as this woman had gone in, his dad had seemed kind of dismissive and almost rude to this woman, and when she was talking to him, asking for a ride, he just said, no, I won't give you a ride. The woman is annoyed by how quickly she's been shot down.
Is she
But instead of just taking no for an answer, she turns and looks at the boy who's sitting out on the bench, who's looking right at her, and she points at the boy, and she says, what about him? Is he your son? Can he give me...
Hey, I can't do it. Look, I'm sorry, I need the hours. I give you the quickest, like, real quick. Like, I need the hours, you know what I'm saying, man? I gotta pay for my cousin eye doctor next week. I don't know. When people ask you for a ride, bro, it's the weirdest ish ever, bro. I had 2 people do it in Arizona. Both times, I was quick on my feet with the line. Like, hell no.
Sitting out on the bench, who's looking right at her, and she points at the boy, and she says, what about him? Is he your son? Can he give me a ride? The boy notices that his father, who's not within her eyesight, is looking at his son going, no. Like, whatever she wants from you, you're going to say no to it. And the boy's a little bit confused by this, because he's still trying to understand why his dad was so against helping this woman, because she clearly needs our help.
Pop said
or
no.
Someone's help. But he just took his dad at face value, and when the woman's pointing at him, he knew, the boy, that if she came over and asked him, he would say no. But it wouldn't come to that, because the boy's father would say to the woman, no, my son's not going to give you a ride. You need to leave here immediately. Do not come back. Leave. We're not going to help you. She's furious. She's cussing him out. She storms out and slams the door. She starts cussing at the boy, and she walks off. The whole time she's turning around and flipping them off and screaming profanities at them, but she ultimately walks off, and the dad kind of followed her out and is standing next to his son as she walks off. And the boy asks his dad, like, what was the deal? Why did that happen? Why did you not want to help her? And the dad just said, I don't know. There was something off about her, and I don't know how to place it, but I did not.
I'm telling you, and that'd be so real. Look, if you like somebody young and you watch this video, I'm telling you, bro, I was there. My parents used to tell me stuff, and when they say something like it going one ear out the other, it really does. It really did. There's so many I can't even think of one. It was wrong. There's so many times my mom has told me not to do something, and I'm pissed, I'm upset, I don't understand why she not letting me do X, Y, Z, and it always worked out in my favor, bro. A couple times worked out in favor of me saving my freaking life, dog. I'm telling you. Your parents are not, man, they don't be saying no or just trying to do shit just to mess with you, bro. Bro, it's legit. They're thinking about your life. If something happened to you, with them being your parents, man, they'll go crazy. Especially if they know they the reason they let you go when they could have stopped it. I'm telling you, man. I know I use a lot of masculine words, but I'm talking to both. Or if you identify whatever. Everybody. I'm talking to everybody. But man, listen to your people. I'm telling you, dog.
I asked his dad,
Pops knew that.
what was her deal? Why did that happen? Why did you not want to help her? And the
dad
just said, I don't know. There was just something off about her, and I don't know how to place it, but I did not want her around you. I knew I didn't want to give her a ride. I knew she had to go. A year later, the boy is in his room when he hears his dad in the other room yelling for him to come in here. Because
I told your ass!
So he runs into the TV room, and on the TV is the same woman.
Oh, she looked crazy. Hell no, I wouldn't get her no damn ride. I thought she was cute. The pictures he was showing, it was a cute girl. I probably would have messed up and gave her the ride. But if I saw that, I wouldn't. Probably. That is crazy to me. Oh, the chills,
So
bro.
he runs into the TV room, and on the TV is the same woman from the gas station, better known as Eileen Wuornos. She was a serial killer who used to pick up her male victims at gas stations in Florida. It's unclear whether the boy or the boy's father were her next victims. But by the time she had shown up at that gas station, she'd already killed 4 people.
Damn.
And following that interaction with them at the gas station, she had gone on to kill 3 more people, including
she'd got him.
in
She'd got him.
Ocala, Florida, which was the town she had asked them to give her a ride to. Eileen had been caught, that's why she was on TV, and she was later sentenced to death.
Good gosh. Ooh, real quick, I had to stop real quick just to give my hair some time to stand down, bro. That one was crazy. And I'm not even gonna lie. Cause even at first, cause I see the picture of the pretty girl, you know, so I'm like, I'm thinking like, what Pop's tripping for? I'm like, what he saw? I'm thinking like, what he see what was wrong? And don't get me wrong, being a parent, I get that. It's like, yeah, I believe when he saw what he saw and how he felt. But at the same time, I'm thinking like, she'll look like nothing wrong. But when they showed that picture, man.
In the late 1970s,
Crazy.
a medical student going to school in Chicago had just gotten out of class and decided he didn't want to pay for a taxi, so he decided he would hitchhike his way home. Now, this was something he routinely did, and at the time was socially acceptable. So he goes down to the road and he puts his thumb out, and eventually a car pulls up, and he would describe the man that is pulling up as looking normal and even friendly and lighthearted. It's a middle-aged guy, and he tells the student, hey, come on in, hop inside, I'll give you a ride. The student did not feel threatened by this guy and felt like overall this was safe, and so he hops in the passenger seat. He tells this man where he wants to go. He says, okay, and they start driving off. So as they're driving, it's silent in the car.
I think
they're
we
not
just
making chit-chat. They're just
I think we just heard this on Mr. Nightmare, I think.
Driving along, and the student notices that the man misses the turn to go where he needs to go. And so the student turns to the man and says, hey, you know, you missed the turn. Do you mind turning around and going back this way? Or, you know, if you want, you can just drop me off here and I'm happy to walk. We're not that far away.
Yeah,
the man, who had seemed really nice and lighthearted, suddenly had this really intense demeanor come over him. And he turns and looks at the student and goes, oh no, you're coming with me.
At that moment, you got to respond. Don't take my advice for nothing, okay? I'm just a YouTuber. I don't want you to take my advice for nothing because I don't want to. Listen, talk to your parents, talk to your guardian. Look, talk to other people. My bad, I'm sorry. But me, from what I was told, what I read online, stuff like that, you can't give them the opportunity to get to where they're gonna get you. Because then at that point, it's more than likely a GG. As soon as I looked at him, if I saw that demeanor like that, and he just said that, you know what I'm doing. I'm grabbing the wheel, bro. He ain't gonna be able to fight. He gonna be trying to fight, but that car be going. And if that car crashes, we both gonna be bro. Stop playing with me. I'm getting out of here.
Demeanor come over him, and he turns and looks at the student and goes, oh no, you're coming with me. The student is frozen in fear. He doesn't know what to do, but he knows immediately that this is not an idle threat. I don't know who he is, I don't know what's gonna happen, but it's gonna be bad for me. I have to get out. And so as soon as the car began to slow down even a little bit, I mean, they're still driving, they're not stopped. The student unlocks the door, opens the car, and jumps out of the moving car,
I think I heard
smashes into the ground, rolls against the side of the curb.
You'll be
is
alright.
ultimately unhurt. I mean, he's banged up from jumping out of a moving car, but he was able to stand up and run back to his house. He didn't call the police because he really didn't know what to tell them, because he didn't have a great description of the guy. He didn't have his license plate, and
oh yeah, I think this was the case one, because was this like, oh, I think because this is the one. I don't want to spoil it. They're gonna ask him a question in the future. He'll like, that's the reason why I did X, Y, Z. Oh my god. Oh my god, I love these stories. This is crazy, dog. This is so crazy. This is crazy.
Know what to tell them, because he didn't have a great description of the guy. He didn't have his license plate, and the guy didn't do anything totally aggressive.
Yes,
it was more of a threat, but an ambiguous threat at best. It wasn't really clear what he wanted to do with him. It definitely did not seem good, but it just wasn't enough for him to call the police. And so the student just feels lucky that he got out of there and moves on with his life. A couple of years go by. The student at this point has basically forgotten about this encounter with the stranger. And he's sitting in a cafe, he's drinking some coffee, and there's a TV on behind him. He wasn't paying attention to it, but the reporter on the TV said something that immediately piqued his interest. The reporter was talking about a guy that was currently on death row that apparently had removed all of the inside car door handles inside of his car after his first would-be victim a college student, had apparently escaped by opening a car door while he was moving. The student runs over to the TV and sees on the screen there is an image of the guy they're talking about, this guy on death row, and it's the same guy who gave him a ride 2 years earlier. His name was John Wayne Gacy, aka the Killer Clown. He had killed over 30 men and boys in Chicago, and then after killing them in his clown room, he would stuff them into a secret crawl space in his basement. And although we can't be certain, it seems extremely likely that this med student was supposed to be the first victim of John Wayne Gacy, but he left.
What the fuck? Oh my gosh! At that point on, I bet that's too, man. I bet he looked at life as a blessing. It'd be impossible to take anything for granted after knowing that. Like, I escaped, bro. Cuz was gonna whack me first?
The med student was supposed to be the first victim of John Wayne Gacy, but he leapt out of the car, forcing John Wayne Gacy to change his strategy and make sure the next person was not able to do that.
That's crazy, man. He probably dropped like, what the fuck? This nigga done jumped out, cuz. Fuck him. I'm sorry. No, you ain't going home, nigga. What the fuck? I'm gonna beat your ass when I catch you. I'm sorry.
But he leapt out of the car, forcing John Wayne Gacy to change his strategy and make sure the next person was not able to do that.
Cause I'm gone, bro. Check it out.
In the 1970s, a young woman and young man were on their very first date together, and it wasn't going very well. It wasn't going badly, it was just really, really awkward. They just were not meshing at all. And so as they're getting ready to leave and retire for the night, the guy is thinking to himself, I have nothing to lose here. We're probably not going to go on a second date.
Don't be like that.
He says to the woman, hey, do you want to not go home right now and actually come on a hike with me? And he goes, I know this sounds like a terrible idea.
Yes.
But hear me out. I go mountain climbing in this area called Provo Canyon. It's not that far from here. There are these beautiful trails that lead up the side of the canyon to these amazing scenic overlooks.
First day.
And tonight it's a new moon, so there's great visibility. And I just think that you might enjoy it. And so at first, the woman is obviously a little bit hesitant. But when he says, look, I go hiking there at night all the time. I love it out there. And I promise if there's any weirdness, if you don't like being there, we'll just turn around and leave. It's totally safe. And so after a little bit of coaxing, she finally says, okay, you know what? That sounds...
We used to go hiking a lot. It's rare you people say, oh, I do it at night all the time. People will go, but it's not common. If you tell me you go hiking every night, well, that's crazy. Hell no, I ain't going in there.
Around and leave, it's totally safe. And so after a little bit of coaxing, she finally says, okay, you know what? That sounds fun. Let's go do it. And so their date that had been really awkward suddenly became really exciting. And the two of them were kind of like thrilled, like, wow, look at us making our way up for a nighttime hike through Provo Canyon. And so they arrive at the mouth of this canyon, and they're both obviously excited. And they hop out and they start walking up this trail that brings them into a heavily forested section of the canyon. Now, to this point, the guy felt like this was a really great idea. He really had gone hiking here a bunch, and he really did know the area well. But as the trail brought them into the forested area, the guy remembers feeling this overwhelming sense of dread. He didn't know why, it was just like an overwhelming sense of anxiety that something bad was going to happen to them. But he had worked so hard to convince his date to come with him, and had convinced her it was safe, that he's not about to let on to her that there was anything wrong with what they were doing. And so he put on, his strong face and just kind of suppressed it and just kept on walking and, holding her hand tight, and they just continued their walk. But his sense of dread would just build and build to the point where
I'm telling you, I know you had moments like that before. You could feel with something like, bro, don't know. Sometimes you like, your body's like, nah, I don't want to do it, whatever, boom. But sometimes you will get a feeling like, bro, that's not right. Something's not right. I'm good. And some of the time, it'll check out right. You be like, damn, I knew it. I knew I ain't want to do that.
They just
It's
continued
crazy
their
how the body
walk.
be
But
working.
his sense of dread would just build and build to the point where he was really on edge. And what he didn't know, but would find out later, is that his date, the woman, she also had this horrible sense of dread as soon as they went into the forest. But she didn't want to tell him because she didn't want to seem like a party pooper, because he seemed really excited about it. At some point, as they're walking down this path, the man steps on something that felt soft. He didn't know what it was, but it caused him to freeze immediately. And he's holding her hand. He kind of jerks her to get her to stop. And before he can even look down and see what he's standing on, he hears rustling coming from the bushes just off the trail. She hears it too, and both of them, without saying a word to each other, because again, you got to remember, they're both really stressed. They haven't let on to the other how stressed they are, but they're both basically ready to leave. And so the two of them turn around and they hightail it out of there. He has no idea what he stepped on. They don't know what they heard in the bushes, but they don't care. The anxiety was so high, they just wanted to leave. Years later, that man and woman who had this very strange date would actually be married. And they'd be sitting down watching TV together, and they're flipping through the channels, and they land on an interview with a death row inmate. And the interviewer is asking the inmate, was there ever a time that you were almost caught red-handed? And the guy being interviewed says, yes, one time. I was in the forest up in Provo Canyon one night, and a young couple came walking up the trail. I didn't see him, so I only had a chance to jump into the bushes right next to the trail, and the guy actually stepped on the body of a girl I had just killed. But for some reason, he didn't look down and see what he was standing on, and the two of them didn't notice me just a few feet away from them. They just turned around and walked away.
Nigga, tell me, man! Tell me, dog, I'm telling you, this is really what I love. Like, I'm telling you, finding a new me, bro. Getting in touch with your spiritual side. I'm telling you, man. Man, your body, keep it healthy. Keep your shell healthy. Your body will tell you stuff, man. My hairs are standing up my back. I'm whispering, I don't know why, man. That's crazy. The fact that both of them felt that, I'm telling you. He just happened to step on that body. That's crazy. It had to be someone else's body, though. I thought it would be like a teddy bear or something. I know. Didn't even look down. I was like, ooh. Fuck it. We out. Whole time I was blaming him. Couldn't find out he was my bad, bro.
I just killed. But for some reason, he didn't look down and see what he was standing on, and the two of them didn't notice me just a few feet away from them. They just turned around and walked away. Turns out that young couple had run into one of the worst serial killers of all time, Ted Bundy. Before Bundy was executed, he confessed to over 30 murders. But many people believe the true number of victims is much higher. So that's going to do it, guys. Let me know what you thought of these three stories in the comment section. And let me know how you would respond if it turned out you had actually interacted with a serial killer.
Hopefully I would make it out. Hopefully I can tell mine.
Only will I respond to all the early commenters. I will also pin the best comment at the top of the comment section. If you enjoyed today's story and you haven't done this already, please schedule the like button for a fight with Paul the day before Thanksgiving in Quincy, Massachusetts. Also, please subscribe to my channel and turn on all notifications so you don't miss any of my weekly uploads. If you want to get in touch with me, you can direct message me on Instagram or on Twitter. My username for both platforms is the same. It's JohnBallen416. I also have a ton of content over on TikTok where my...
That's crazy. Cause I remember bumping into this dude, MrBallen, on TikTok a few times. I even told you that. Like, I seen this dude a few times on TikTok, and I always tell you I love TikTok horror. Like, that's why I love horror at. It's really good. And then y'all can, and I think watch the compilation. Y'all can tell, yo, that's MrBallen. Check him out. Check him out. Check him out. Fire, bro. This is crazy. This is crazy to me, man. Oh my gosh, yo, that one. I'm not a rep of the video. I really don't. That one was a good watch. The first one, oh my gosh, still got me, dude. Because for one, when he kept saying he saw the way she was just walking on the edge of the highway. I'm sorry, me being in a gas station that's off a highway like that. For one, you probably can't even pay me to eat outside. I'm sorry. You probably can't even pay me to come to work. Sorry. If I'm outside, if I see anything, it could be a cat. I'm gone. I'm getting inside, bro. Man, if you would have gave her that ride, if you wouldn't have listened to Pops, she'd have got you. And she looked crazy. She looked strong. She looked strong. Strong. I don't know why my body want to say strong. She looked strong. If y'all enjoyed the video, if you like, Comment, subscribe, share, amazing. That's awesome. Yo, look, I appreciate y'all so much. Y'all been showing so much love to the channel. This is so much fun. But get out your feelings. I'm out.